Justice Ayoba Penny Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. Wano enene omampeni ejina Ghana. Yama mrane so 1992 Constitution. Article 146 Clause 6 no eso. Ninina emrane mane ho kwan pefe. Esese omampeni saka tumikrata anaso omampeni saka krata bi kyerɛ Chief Justice Oti Edwaso eniema bi nkoyie eniema bi ntwaya se wo so edema Council of State na Council of State nso ehwehwɛ ma no mu se ensuo bi wom enyinaso bi wom pa na eni omampani se wɔpae committee na committee ne tena se ɛyɛ adwuma hwɛ se Chief Justice ye pamono anansa wɔn tena se na ɔnyɛ n'adwuma ɛno ɛna bra committee efi wɔn adwuma se ɛyɛ Justice Ecowas Court ya poama committee ni titire ni din ɛna ya de to so ɛni ti sa committee na adwuma no ɛyɛ nkakra ɛna ɔmo efi aseɛ committee na adwuma no mo efi aseɛ Chief Justice Ababontie di kan kora ɛtro krata ɛbɛka kyɛ Ghana fo nyina ɛsɛ ne edi kan baabi a yɛyɛ saa adwuma ne kora no ohun ni se enkoyie committee ni bebe yede ma won kokotena no wo se okọ ho a yatutu tuo kakra ewo ho enti ya ade a ekakai no tete no ekakai ni niam bia ense ne mfata eno achi cross ho suspended Chief Justice okoduru ho a ase ebo ni search ase mema bia ebo ni search no obi pese ode ne nse ewura ba bia ense na emfata eno achi ose ne lawyer eniema bia wo ho esese ye ma ne lawyer kwan na ne lawyer ye no kra ye ma no sa akwanya no ose ni kunu ye ma kwan ese ni kunu na se busuani bi mpo eni nachi na asam ni bi pem na anka ya krokro no nkakra ewo eho eno ene nsema Chief Justice odi kan e di release ba abonten ebebo Ghana fo amane ase Ghana fo ankenkan Ghana fo antie eno achi kra eno san be ye press conference ebebo mu che Ghana fo nyina se we mekasa obechirechire mu pa e de che Ghana fo ena Chief Justice ankasa akọ eye Ecowas Court of Justice akọ ese yetietia ne fa ahodie so na ne fa ahodie so na yetietia no emra wo ho pa Angel Kase abowram Ecowas Court of Justice no atemuafo a ete so ewo ho ne tie de oye pie mu panin pa wo ho tetitirani ewo ho eye Justice Honorable Justice Ricardo Claudia Montero a wono efi Keved Vice President eye Justice Senyo Mohammed Koroma wono so efi Sierra Leone ena ya Ghana ni dehye pa Justice Edward Amuakun Asante na anu ya otwe Ecowas Court ni nyina eba manga na mu ha ena de otosubio oye member eye Justice Watara wono efi Cote d'Ivoire ene ye Justice Dube Atipo wono so efi Nigeria na sansem we gise enya lawyer ni mapa wono ene betimi a kire ye mu pa amayate asese ne Chief Justice eye ne kwan so anu no anase afomumra no ewo baabi private legal practitioner eye Gomda Abdul Aziz wono ene ye ne eba besua de ewo emra we hu kansa mame mu adwo emu akwaba mi se baabi awo no eno anu no anamo Chief Justice suspended Chief Justice watui mamini kan bisa se ye ne Ghana fo e bisa se usomu sen eno anu no
mi ji so me se mi chira ukifo na mtio amajiwe mchiro na okay bacha utimika
kansa bacha odem metio nkapa.
Okay. Well, as it stands here, the extent of the information here in terms of Chief Justice case our file on Ecowas now is only limited to what the Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Dr. Justice Shamsai, I just share my public because I don't think we have records or copies of the contents of Adia on our Chief Justice Nassari or suspended Chief Justice no actually in the court. And if you look at information the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Deputy Attorney General shared with the public, basically, or share say Chief Justice will challenge the legality of the suspension law, which from where limits now is a constitutional matter. And that's the Ecowas Court no almost jurisdiction to entertain and legal matters of human rights violations. For now, we need to share the exact nature of Chief Justice case because those matters have not been public yet. But relying on the information Deputy Attorney General has shared to the public, I understand we say, or challenging the legality of the suspension. And the power to suspend the Chief Justice, the Asama Constitution has provided for, and has provided the procedure by which President who has the power to suspend the Chief Justice, who is a subject of a removal proceeding. So the procedural requirements are laid down clearly in the Constitution. And the question you ask yourself is challenging the legality of the suspension as provided under Article 146 of the Constitution, to which the President of Ghana has the power to do, is that challenge to be done within our local courts or within a community court like Ecowas Court. And as mentioned earlier, Ecowas Court, in addition to some other jurisdictions in our own law, they have the power to determine human rights violations. Is this issue a human rights violation? It is based on what the Deputy Attorney General has shared with the public. I don't think it's a human rights violation. And if it is not a human rights violation and it's an issue challenging the constitutional authority, clearly, every court by its establishment is regulated by a law. And Ecowas Court, the jurisdiction is established by the Ecowas Treaty and accompanying protocols, which confers its jurisdiction. And jurisdiction is basically the power of a court to determine certain matters. And the law, manu and confer a particular power in the court to determine a matter. The court cannot go into that matter.
Okay.
And if you look at the jurisdiction conferred by the Ecowas Treaty and the accompanying protocols that establish the Ecowas Court of Justice, determining the validity of constitutional injunctions and constitutional powers of domestic, domestic in nature or national sovereign countries is not part of our jurisdiction. So Ecowas Court is meant to determine whether the President of Ghana has exercised his power under Article 146 correctly or otherwise. Common legal power. The only power they might have as it relates to the individual is where there are allegations of violations of human rights.
Council Minchawano, but Osha, dear Deputy Attorney General, Justice Msai, a posti, na part ni bi kasa ese suspended Chief Justice HSE yetieti and fa hudie so human right. Na yanhwe ne said ye wo kan agana fo etie wi nyina no se eyampa se yetieti and fa hudie so na Ecowas Court wo jurisdiction a ebetimi affect ye o betimi akasa da bi mu tieti a ma me ne fa hudie so ntinu munyai na wo metena se nya na dwuma bibisa betimi asi.
Okay, this is on general human rights violation. Of course, the Ecowas Court, community court has their jurisdiction. And even in our within our domestic setting as Ghana, not every matter borders on human rights. Not every allegation of constitutional violation constitutes human rights violation. And like I said, we have not had the benefit of the content of the application or the process that was filing was on the Ecowas Court. As relying on what the Deputy Attorney General can, he is basically, and if I may, I think what the Deputy Attorney General said was that, and I'm quoting the Deputy Attorney General, that essentially the leadership agreed that by her suspension, she, another post, has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination, impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. And far right now, make reference to is a right created under Article 146, or is a right created under the Constitution which confers powers on her. Then Article 146 can also govern the president's power to suspend a chief justice which is subject to this of removal proceedings. Please remember. Now, very clear that
Council, wadaruma onna no kakra bi ma yɛ sɛ anoma bi twetwetwa wa homa anima nti mu nhyɛ da enkoyi.
Hello,
kasa menhwɛ. Me pa chafe wo dem, wadaroma wo dem TNT o.
The point I was making was that, yes, the Ecowas Court has jurisdiction in the human rights violation. But if you look at the nature of the plan, okay, before it was completed by the Deputy Attorney General, my view is that the Ecowas Community Court only needs jurisdiction in the matter because it borders on challenging the authority of the president to suspend her. And the Ecowas Community Court doesn't have jurisdiction to determine whether our president has complied with the constitution or not. Only has jurisdiction. It is a sovereign matter for which our courts have jurisdiction to determine on such matters. And the court in Ghana, for the purpose of determining whether the constitution has been complied with or not, is the Supreme Court. And clearly, Chief Justice is currently before the Supreme Court, challenging her suspension, challenging the removal and all those things. And I am very convinced that the Supreme Court is competent enough to make that determination. And I know she has supervised or she has presided over the Supreme Court for some time. And I'm very convinced she's so aware that the Supreme Court is competent. But on challenging whether the suspension is valid or not, and impairing her from functioning as a Chief Justice, I'm sorry to say that based on my review and understanding of the rules and the laws are establishing on manner establishing Ecowas Court, no, I'll be surprised to hear that they have entertained that matter. Clearly, I expect them to say that, well, if you are complaining of human rights violations, we are here to hear you out. But if you are challenging your suspension, unfortunately, I don't think the law that established that Ecowas Community Court, no, gives them the power to make inquiries into the legality or otherwise of the suspension by the president for which he's complaining about.
Okay, as a council metiasia here, and Yama Munu and Awaka, Ayatiasia. Near the kind say Chief Justice, Kwani de Wako, Cecilia, Deputy Attorney General Casadia, Nese Oko, Nemum so Kose, on Tiasia, a choir ye far so. Eyi ni to akonya ayeye ni mu hwehwemu and the Ecowas Court ni betimi aka chenze ma me and say why ra kwan wa fom kwan na emom okono okoka say e bia ye tietia me fa ahodie so ayebeka say ni human right and na ye trampled upon dia ene omo betie na asem no na omo tie die wo mu potinti a ye tete na say ye tietia ne fa ahodie so sa bebepe na pese ye tie ase
exactly no
na ebetimi abase ne fa ahodie na o ka se ye tietia so no on behwem etie na asem awie na ma confirm se ane ye tie ma me ni nkurobo nyina awie a ye hunu se Ghana ban ene Ghana fo nyina mu tete ntinia mu ye no munyai eno emra ne ma ho kwan na omu make ne pronouncement a ebetimi abase esese ye sesa bibi ana ye bibi mana sa ne fa ahodie na ye bubu so no ye bejai.
Is in respect of the human rights violation?
Yes, in respect of the human rights violation.
Yes, in respect of human rights violations, the Ecowas Court has the power to make those determinations. And there's something very interesting about the Ecowas Court. Unlike other international courts, and even in Africa, there's a court known as the African Court for Human and People Rights. In those courts, there's a pending human rights case within your local jurisdiction, the court would not entertain your matter, even if it's human rights violation. But for Ecowas Court, no, that one, at least based on the applications in the past and also the law that established the court. Even if there's a pending human rights case, the court will still entertain you. So for Ecowas Court, yes, they can look into the matter and make the determination if it is about human rights. But at the end of the day, if they make the decision, enforcement becomes another issue because it becomes a state, interstate relational issues. Because at the end of the day, and yet individuals know that would ensure compliance and enforcement of the judgment. It is the institution of Ecowas and its member states. And there's always that political question that, yes, if you have a judgment and the state for which the judgment is won against refuses to comply, what is the way forward? But of course, it depends on Ghana's own reputation under the international community. And we live in an era where we want an international community that respects international law. And I am very confident that Ghana for the past years has demonstrated that we are leaders in Africa in ensuring rule of law. So if they make a determination, and that determination is to the effect that the government has focused in some way, I'm sure through the appropriate agencies, we can ensure compliance and see what happens.
Right. Council ma ye na wasepa na ye mfa osi a obre na wada adwawanya e de ama yesua ade e wo nchen. Private legal practitioner Gomda Abdul Aziz lawyer ni ma papa wono ene Chief Justice e de oman Ghana oman nyina enyo mampani o we Ghana o de Ghana ena akopiem e wo Ecowas Court of Justice osi yetieti anefa ahodie so we ni nsema Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice Srimsai wabe posti e woni Facebook ne di honkomo enti niema mienu e no betimi di court na baako e na ode kwa ene Ecowas Court ne betia ne e betie ne yie pa etimi di anu yaba enne se Ghana fo nyina ye tietia ne fa ahodie so meni Eugene kura ye ka ho bi to you ene say ye de ka ye nkoye ni me